to come from the corporate perspective, since that's been my perspective over the last 30 years. For those of you that don't know what I do, I today run a $100 billion mutual fund business. And I think my biggest disappointment in this conversation, my biggest disappointment is this is not a woman's issue. This is not a woman's issue. And I love the fact that we're starting the conversation. I love the fact that the room is packed. But until we make this a men and women's issue, we're not going to make progress. And let me tell you how I look at it. I'm very practical. I'm running a business. We're gaining market share. We're now the 20th largest mutual fund, advisor-sold mutual fund company in the country at $100 billion. This is a talent issue. This is a talent issue. When I look at how do I make sure that we can beat the competition, how do I make sure that I have the best talent in the right seats, I've got to look at 100% of the population, not 50% of the population. And I've got to empower that 50% of the population that happens to be female in a way that works in our business. And we could talk for hours. I'd love to talk for hours about the different things that are impacting this. But let me just share a very personal story. It's only going to be one tiny lens, but 30 years ago when I started in the practice of law, before I was a business person, I was a young attorney in Washington, D.C. in a trial practice. And I remember it like it was yesterday. I can remember the first assignment I got. So I was assigned as the lead litigation attorney to a client who had walked into the firm. And I still remember, 30 years later, the look on his face when he saw who was going to be his lead attorney. Now, this was a well-intentioned person, but his picture of who was going to protect him in this very tough piece of litigation and in the courtroom was, maybe age had something to do with it, but it was certainly not female. It was somebody who was taller, had a deeper voice, and was much more male. And I remember thinking at the time, I didn't whine, I didn't complain, I didn't even talk to anybody about it. But it was probably one of the best things that ever happened to me in my career, because I became very sensitized, having come out of law school in Virginia where it was 50-50, 60-40, really no gender issue to speak of. And right there, first day on the job, smack, there are assumptions, you can call them stereotypes, but there are assumptions of what somebody looks like, who somebody is, that's going to perform specific jobs and roles. What I have done over the years to address that in my own personal situation is just be conscious of that. Be conscious of the fact that there might be a perception that I'm not tough enough to handle a $1 billion deal. We'll take care of that. We'll handle a $1 billion deal. That maybe because I'm a female, I may be more detail-oriented, more tactical, not strategic, not big thinking. Again, these are well-intentioned people. These are built into our culture, built into our thinking. Those are just two examples. I could go on, but I won't. But those are the kind of things that I'm now in a position to make sure I'm working on the perception as well as empowering women, young women, older women who are in middle management to make sure that they're not buying, number one, they're not buying into that equation, and number two, our male colleagues are not buying into that equation. But it's a talent issue. It's an economic issue. It's a community issue. I truly believe that if we get more gender balance in our leadership positions, whether they're political, whether they're corporate, you pick your space, we are going to have better outcomes for everyone. So my passion is about making this not just a woman's issue, but making sure that we have male allies and we make it an issue, a community issue, a corporate issue.